Okay, first you need to join your two-pack pieces together. I recommend the joining jig out of video 11 to do that, just like we did with the top. And now from the plans you'll see a template to make out this piece for making sort of a cradle to bend the back in. I'm just putting this on some scrap lumber. This is just some 1-inch thick pine, and I've gotten a piece that's wide enough so that I can put 2 of these on one width of the board. And here I'm just tracing out the outline. And you'll see this curve matches the arch of the back on this guitar. And then I'll just take a coping saw and cut these out. And you want to make a total of 4 of them. And now here's the cradle that I've made, the 4 pieces that we cut. And then I've put 2 blocks in the center with a center line marked in them so that we can line up the center line of the back on this brace and keep it square. And then you'll also notice that I've put a real thin scrap piece here just to tie the 4 boards together, and make sure you've got it wide enough to fit the back. Okay, now again I've soaked the board in water, and we're going to set the cradle on the go bar system that we've made. And I've got plenty of dowel rods ready. And you want to have some scrap blocks that are wide enough to go across the width of the back. And I would tell you to have 3 or 4 different thicknesses. You may have to put a little different thickness block on there just to make your dowels fit right. Okay, now I've got the board out of the water, and I'm going to line up the center line there with the center line in the top, and make sure you have it oriented right as far as the top and the bottom, and also which side you want facing out. And once you've got it centered, just make sure it's centered on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some pieces in here, and you can see how I'm going to push them in. I'm going to add a little block here to make the dowels work. I want to push it down into that cradle and just clamp it in place. And it might take 2 or 3 of the dowel rods to actually get it all the way down to where it hits the cradle. And do be careful here. Definitely wear the eye protection. As this moves, some of those dowel rods can pop loose. And here I've done it at the top as well. And now the top is a pretty flat section, so I'm actually going to put some clamps on here just to hold it nice and flat and make sure that I've got it where it needs to be. And as I get it clamped in here, you can start removing the dowels on this piece. You see there's one that broke up. Good thing I had that eye protection on. And then I'm going to put one about midway through as the slope of the back sort of starts from the neck and that curve begins. It's a good idea to put a piece there and hold that in place as well. And now the very bottom of the guitar, that curve will just go flush with the cradle. It doesn't flatten out. You can see here it just sort of curves up, and then you can see that we're flush with the cradle, and then we've got it flattened out here at the top. And I'll let this sit and dry and let it dry out completely before we go any further with it, at least 48 hours.